So whenever you go to, say, an SSL server, now this is an older handshake for those of you who are more technical, say, wait a minute, we don't support MD5 anymore. That's true. This is an older one. I just kept it for simplicity. But you always pick something from aisle 1, something from aisle 2, something from aisle 3. You always pick a symmetric, an asymmetric, and a hashing algorithm. And that's true if it's IPsec or SSH or SSL. That's the way all crypto systems work. Right? Typically for years this was the default. I'll use RSA as my asymmetric algorithm, which can be used to share this RC4 symmetric key as well as sign the hash. Some algorithms can only do one thing. So for instance, Diffie-Hellman only does key agreement. So I could use Diffie-Hellman to agree on the symmetric key, but I'll have to use the digital signature standard from the NSA that we use to encrypt the hash. Elliptical curve can do both, but when they use it for key agreement, they call it elliptical curve Diffie-Hellman, DH, exchange, and that will be used to agree on the AES key. But to sign this SHA hash, I'm going to use elliptical curve as a digital signature algorithm. So again, we use it for key agreement, we use it for signing. So symmetric, we already said all this. The strength of this is very, very fast, right? On a magnitude of 1,000 times faster. It's very simple language. But the challenge is I have to initially share the key, and it actually doesn't scale well. We have to have a key pair for every 2 people that talk. If this were 1,000 different people, I would have 500,000 keys now. But with an asymmetric system, I only need a private-public key pair for everybody. So that's another beauty of asymmetric systems. They scale better. I get confidentiality, and I give a limited form of authenticity. Alice will know it's Bob, and Bob knows it's Alice. But you can prove it to a third party. Sometimes that's not important to us. In something like IPsec, where your IP header has the source IP address in it, I know where it came from, they really don't sign. They just do symmetric authentication. But in asymmetric, we have the key pair, right? I generate 2 numbers, and they're at a very high simplistic level. The most famous would be RSA. It's much easier to multiply than it is to divide. So if I make the numbers really, really big to where the computer could multiply the 2 numbers in a second, but to divide and factor the original 2 numbers that went into it would take millions and millions of years. Of course, computers keep getting faster, but in theory, that's how RSA works. I take, well, they have to be prime numbers. I can't have a number like 64 because your public key would be, I don't know, it could be the public key would be 64, but the private key could have been 2 times 32. It could have been 4 times 16. It could have been 8 times 8. So we make sure they're prime numbers, so there's only one solution. And we have a major advantage. I don't care about sharing the secret, I don't have to hand deliver my public key to anybody. I just, here, take it. I'll put it on a web server and say, download it here. The only thing that's going to allow people to do is know that something came from me or send me things only I could read. They can't read my stuff. It scales very nicely. And it provides a new service because Bob didn't share his private key. That must have come from Bob. But it is much slower. And if I can put anybody's name on the public key, a certificate, when you get a certificate, you're getting that ID card with all the information on there, but you're getting someone's public key in the certificate. That's what we use. That's why it's called the public key infrastructure. And I require a third party to validate it really is. Who is that third party? Well, the way PKI works, it's that hierarchical model that we looked at already, where the trusted third party is a certificate authority. I'm an old Star Trek fan. You know, some people, we see in movies, they'll have a devil and an angel advising them. I always feel I have Kirk and Spock. And when I ask Spock, what do you think of PKI? He says it's very logical. It has a complete hierarchical structure with roots and subordinates. It uses advanced math. I like it very much, Captain. But the Captain Kirk in me says, I never met VeriSign Spock. I know Flanagan from the Intrepid. He's a good man. We went to the academy together. Kirk doesn't like that method. Kirk prefers PGP, or open PGP. It means it's open source. Because to him, he trusts his friends better. And that's the person who signs your public key in the PGP system, or the web of trust. And one's not better than the other. It depends on your needs. I always say that neither of them are perfect. There are times when I trust my friends more than the government, There are times when I don't.